Hi and welcome to a new video. This is my May wrap-up video. I know this is kind of late because it's already 5th of June, but it's fine. I'll just show the books I read. So, I started the month off with Things We Never Get Over. This is about Naomi. She comes into this town, Knockamout, and she needs to figure out what's going on with her twin sister, Tina. And we follow her trying to take care of her niece, Waylay. And we also follow Knox, who is this millionaire dude. He's pretty famous in this small town. And, this is small town romance. This is a cute, fluffy romance. And even though I loved the characters and I loved the story, it had a lot of potential. I gave it 3.75 stars, I think so. And that's because I didn't like the childish behavior of Knox. And also the epilogue at the end, I didn't quite like that as well. You can recognize this from my summer book recommendations video. Totally fine, it was just not up my alley. Next book that I read was Shatter Me. I finally started Shatter Me and I was just so happy to read this book, and I think it was because of the expectations that I gave it 4 stars. And I was just like, okay, so the series is gonna get better, and I'm so happy it did because I already finished the series. But yeah, it was good. We follow this is in a dystopian world. Their establishment took over. Their establishment is basically trying to destroy all cultures, all languages. They're trying to make a compact one culture. Do you get me? They're trying to erase all the literature and stuff. They're basically the bad guys. And we follow Juliet, who has this magic powers. Whoever she touches, she kills. Their establishment wants to use her as their weapon. And we just follow her through her story, trying to discover more about her powers, but also getting away from their establishment. This edition also has Destroy Me, which is Warner's novella. Warner basically works for their establishment and kind of holds Juliet captive. Juliet is the main character. So yeah, and I'm so glad I also read Destroy Me. And I'm so glad I did because I just got to find out more about Warner and his backstory and why he was the way he was. Then I took a break from the dystopian and I read Better Than Movies by Lynn Painter, and it was such a nice read. I think I gave it a 4.5 star read and it was just so fun. I guess it was the perfect time to read it because, I'm approaching the end of my 8th grade. I'm finishing a chapter of my life, and so are these people, and they're trying to get most out of prom and stuff like that. And I was so happy to read this book because I felt like me and the main character were kind of in similar situations. Wes is basically a gentleman. He's just totally different from Warner. Okay. Then I read The Spanish Love Deception. I didn't give this back to my friend. I borrowed this book from my friend. I need to give it back to her. But this is The Spanish Love Deception. This is the first in a kind of duology series, I think so. I read the other book first, The American Roommate Experiment, which I totally liked more than this book. I gave this 4 star, I think so, because I heard it was enemies to lovers. But it clearly isn't. It's about Catalina Martin. She's invited to her sister's wedding and she needs to find a partner to go with. And Aaron, who is her boss, kind of offers to go with her. And she contemplates about this. She's like, oh, I hate him, but I need a partner. And he offers himself. And we just follow them together going to Spain. And then falling in love, obviously, because this is a romance book. Guys, this is not enemies to lovers, it's mostly rivals to lovers. But I've read The Cruel Prince, and they were like knives to throat kind of enemies, and this was not. But you know, it's fine. I like this. I like the romance. I like some little things and bits in the book. And I was so excited to read this book. Like, if you want a summer vacation, you can just watch my summer book recs video. I'm not gonna give you summer book recommendations in this video. Just know I give it 4 stars and it was good. Then I read Unravel Me. This is Unravel Me, okay. Then I read Unravel Me, which is the second book in the Shatter Me. By the way, I can just talk about these 3 together because I don't want to spoil it. Then I read these 3 books. These are the second, the 2.5 book, third book, the 4th book, and the 4.5 book. And I also started in May, I also started Defy Me, which is the 5th book. I finished it in June, but I started it in May. So this is Unravel Me and Fracture Me. This is Ignite Me, which was a 5-star read. And this is Repair Me and Shadow Me. I love this book. I love this a lot. This has some really good quotes in it. This was a 4.5-star read. Truly loved it. We follow Juliet, again, finding more about her powers, you know, trying to be self-confident. We also follow Warner, like following her and shit. And we also follow Adam. Adam has his little novella, Fracture Me, and we follow him in his relationship with Juliet. And that's it. Then I read Ignite Me. After the battle, something's happened. We also follow Aaron, Warner, and Juliet developing their relationship, and also their fight against the establishment. This was a 5-star read. This was perfection. This was perfection. This is Repair Me and Shadow Me, which is Kenji's novella. Kenji's novella was, I don't want to give it a 5-star read because it was novella, because I would truly liked more of Kenji. This is the book in which we find about Juliet's past. This is where we find Juliet and Warner's past. We find more of Kenji. I love Kenji so much, and I'm so glad I read Shadow Me. This again was a 4.75, I think so. I just don't know because the plot is gibberish in my mind. I just don't know which book was what, and I don't know how to describe them really, but the whole series as a whole was a 5-star read because I just loved it so much. And I love the characters except for Adam and Lena. I loved all of them except for them too. But everything was fine. I loved Juliet, I loved Aaron, I loved Kenji, I loved Nazira. I practically loved the whole series. I loved the plot, the setting, and everything. I just love it so much, and I felt like I'm a totally different person after I read this series. I read 9 books. Wow, that's a lot. I read 9 books and started the 10th one. I also started Defy Me, as I told you. This is the 5th book in the Shatter Me series. Truly loved that one after I finished it. I also read Imagine Me, Believe Me, and this will go up in my June wrap up. These were the books I read in May, and I'm so happy I did because these were really great reads, and I'm feeling like I get to more about my reading taste. Anyways, have a nice day, evening, whatever it is for you, and just see you next time, next Sunday.